The Digital Commons was implemented in 2004 as a means of providing access to our honors projects, because at that time they were the most frequently requested interlibrary loan items from our collection. We always catalog our student honors projects so they are discoverable in our online catalog system. But now by publishing them in the Digital Commons, they are accessible, and they are accessible to a worldwide audience. In fact, one of our 2006 honors projects, The Mirror's Reflection, Virgil's Aeneid in English translation, has been downloaded over 18,000 times. To share more about our Digital Commons, we asked faculty to share their thoughts about their projects.
So they work really hard on their papers in a different way because it's for a different audience, and you can document that audience so well on Digital Commons.
One example of the importance of Digital Commons to me and to my students as people who are working in Nepal and interested in Nepal is that I have a student from last year who did her honors work about Nepal. It's a wonderful honors thesis, and it's going to be made available on Digital Commons. And what that means, of course, is that people all over the world, including in Nepal, will be able to download and read it. And because her work is about something that hasn't been studied that much, particularly with respect to the area that she did her work in, I anticipate that there will actually be quite a lot of interest in her honors thesis.
I have included links to the repository in letters of recommendation, suggesting that folks who are evaluating students for scholarships or jobs or graduate school follow this easy link and go see some of the written published work of this student.
However, the Digital Commons is so much more now. Journals, student award-winning papers, faculty publications, and 2 open access monographs. One of the monographs is a multimedia publication. We also have oral histories, the campus alumni magazine, and we have conference proceedings. Specifically, our student-produced undergraduate journals allow students to publish their work and to learn the publishing process. Students are able to be involved in all aspects of production, including solicitation of content, peer review, layout, and general production, all through Digital Commons.
Our students have a research requirement in order to get a physics degree, and it's really the culmination of a big effort that requires a lot of different skills: experimental skills, analytical skills, project management skills, computational skills, and also communication skills. They bring all this together, and I think to see their work then published after a peer review process in a journal is a source of great pride for them.
The students have really enjoyed producing the journal. We've been doing this for about 5 years, and the way that it works is that we solicit papers across campus sometimes, and we get them submitted so that they are blind review, and that gives the students opportunity to read papers from other students in different fields and learn how to edit, and then they decide if they'll accept the paper with revision or not accept the paper, and then we put together themes and it's published once a year. The students sometimes are originally intimidated by being published, but one of the things that really gets them to want to be published is tracking other students' papers. And so what we do is have them follow other students who publish in Tapestries and see that people from all over the world read these papers, and then students decide that they want to be a part of this, and then once it's done, they're so glad.
We also have a department journal where we periodically take it up as a class project in an advanced class to put together an issue of the journal. And that's been really, really helpful in having students understand what published articles are.
I brought 2 issues just to hold up because it is an e-journal, but we've printed them. And one has a cover where the student did the art. And so this was very exciting. This was a young woman named Elizarin who graduated in 2015. And so this is our 4th volume. And students were very proud to have one of their classmates do their work. And then our most recent issue, we had 5 students participate in the journal, and we decided to do a silhouette and a photograph of them. And so it's kind of fun because it personalizes the journal and it reflects who the people are that put their pieces in it.
We also use the digital commons to host scholarly society journals. One such journal is Himalaya. Professor Arjun Gunaratne, former editor of the journal, describes the growth in readership and impact the journal has experienced since being hosted in digital commons.
By being on digital commons and by being online, where anybody anywhere in the world, and most particularly people in the Himalayan region, in Nepal and in the adjacent countries, can download anything that they want, it has suddenly become much more visible. And I think one of the ways in which that has sort of shown up is that now we get, we have plenty of submissions to the journal in a way that we did not used to have. So people know about the journal and people want to be published in the journal. And that has made a really big impact. But also because digital commons has allowed us to streamline the editorial process. So to give you an example, one of the things that has made the journal different is that it has now become a peer-reviewed journal. It didn't used to be peer-reviewed, but it is peer-reviewed now. And by having digital commons as a platform, the editors are able to manage the peer review process very efficiently. Because digital commons provides us both with a database of potential peer reviewers. We have to populate the database ourselves, but once we've done that, we have a database. And then it allows us to keep track of who's been asked to peer review any given article. The database automatically sends out reminders to people when their review is due. And so it relieves the editors of a lot of rather tedious labor that they would otherwise have had to do if they didn't happen to have that kind of an electronic database. And this is especially important because the work of everybody who's associated with the Himalaya is purely voluntary.
Another feature is the real-time readership map. Here we can demonstrate the impact of global reach that the DC provides for our student and faculty publications. We are close to reaching the 2 million mark for downloads to our repository. We've shared stories on how, in addition to a repository for student honors projects, the journal features are benefiting departments and students. Digital Commons not only has brought attention to our academic departments, it has become a teaching tool for our students in learning the scholarly publishing process.
And I think in particular it has been an important tool in recruiting students. High school students come in to Macalester to visit, and we can show them the journal and the talks included in the journal as well, to really show them the level of accomplishments that our students reach here, and that they also could aspire to when they come to Macalester, and I think they usually are very impressed by that.
It's been a way that people have found out about our major. We are the newest major on campus. We're 13 years old, and people have gone to Tapestries and then realized that it was housed with us and then learned about our department. So that's been very exciting.
Open access publishing in Digital Commons provides departments with tools and a platform to make their scholarship visible and available to a worldwide audience. In summary,
it's one thing to try and write like that genre, and it's a very different thing to sit on an editorial board and decide if something is of the quality to be published and wrangle with the publication process and asking for suggestions and what are required suggestions and what should be left to the author and what makes something high quality. So I think students who have had the opportunity to publish a piece or evaluate what will be a published piece understand scholarship in an entirely different way from students who just read it.